6:15 this afternoon. You can see these areas of heavy rain and frequent hail, and it's one cell in particular that just went past the Forest Hill area that prompted this warning. Let me take the radar off of this, and you'll be able to see the area that is included in this warning. And the warning is up until 6:15 this afternoon. It doesn't include Georgetown, but as you can see, it does include a small area of El Dorado County. The rest of El Dorado County is out of this. So if you're in Georgetown, or if you're in Pilot Hill or Cool, and maybe you got a warning, this doesn't apply to your area, but it does apply to a large area of Placer County from Forest Hill up to Interstate 80 until 6:15 this afternoon. This is because we do have areas of heavy rain and hail, frequent lightning in here, and the Weather Service even included the possibility of a tornado. We're not really seeing any indication of that just yet, but as you can see, there is a lot going on here, and so you can just imagine that right here across Forest Hill Road, we have that heavy rain going on and frequent lightning. Also, go a little bit farther to the south. These areas that are not in the warning right now are also seeing some really heavy rain. So this is Highway 49, so this is not too far from Cool and toward the Coloma area. That area is also getting some really heavy rain and probably some hail with that as well. I do want to show you this on the other radar, the raw radar, because the other thing that's happened today is we did have the tornado warning up earlier in parts of Butte County and Plumas County. This one is different. This cell is different. So this is the area that I'm just showing you. What I'm showing you here is the velocity. In other words, how the air is moving, how the water droplets are moving. And because this is a consistent red color, what that means is that everything is moving away from the radar. We are not seeing any rotation in that. So I wanted to just point that out. This is the velocity mode that we show you. So even though we do have a severe thunderstorm warning, at this point we are not seeing any rotation in it as indicated on the radar. Let me go back to the reflectivity mode, and what you'll see here is these heavy cells that extend from the Georgetown area through Forest Hill and almost up to Alta here along Interstate 80. I'm a little surprised we don't have a warning up for this one at this time. This is outside of the warning area right now, but this one tracking toward Georgetown does look as though it has some hail with it, obviously heavy downpours. So if you're in Georgetown, even though I said you're not actually in that warning, you do have a heavy cell coming your way. It's been an active day of weather. We'll tell you more about it in the 6 o'clock news, which starts right now.
Where the news comes first. This is KCRA 3 News at 6.
It has been a day of unsettled weather. Here's some video from El Dorado Hills. At times you can even hear the thunder as the heavy downpour continues. Again, it's been an active weather day across our area. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Gulston Dart.
And I'm Edie Lambert. We had a tornado warning in Butte and Plumas counties and several thunderstorm warnings throughout this afternoon, as Mark has been reporting for us. Due to all of this, our weather team designated this a KCRA Weather Alert Day. We have seen a lot of different weather today. And as you can see from looking across the region there, the conditions can really change quickly.
Yeah, during those breaks of the heavy rain, we've seen moments of sunshine and then more rain. Here's a time lapse overlooking Sacramento County. This is looking from the east.
And I'm sure you just heard that. A viewer shared this video where you can hear the thunder near Folsom Lake late this afternoon.
And we're getting hail in Forest Hill. A viewer sharing a photo with us of the hail that just covered her balcony. They've gotten hail, thunder, and lightning there. And we have live team coverage across the region for you from the Sierra to Sacramento County. Our team is monitoring the weather where you live.
Dry Creek is filling up and flowing into fields in Rio Linda. How Sacramento County crews are keeping those floodwaters out of people's homes. I'm Brittany Hope. We're reporting live approaching Rancho Cordova right now on Sunrise Boulevard. We'll tell you about the really interesting hail that we saw just a bit ago and where we're headed now.
I'm Andrea Flores. We're live along I-80 on the approach to Soda Springs, where we are seeing changing road conditions as the snow impacts travel conditions. As folks head down the road, we'll give you a live update.
And a minute ago, I mentioned that we have a thunderstorm that's near Forest Hill, and there was a cell just outside of the warning area near Georgetown. Well, that area just within the last couple of seconds was now included in a warning as well. So now we have an expanded area that is in the warning. We actually have two warnings, if you will. We have this one that is in effect until 6:15 for this cell that just moved past Forest Hill, and there's more activity heading that way. But we do have this now expanded warning. Actually, let me do it this way, because we do have this new area that was just just included down in here, and I'll just have to move the map a little bit right in here. So this is a new area that was included in the warning. Let me put the radar layer back on this for you, because it's because of this cell right here that's making its way toward Georgetown. So here's Highway 49, Placerville down in here. So for those of you in Placerville, you were just included in this new warning. A few minutes ago, we weren't in that. It was only included a small part of El Dorado County. Now it takes into a much bigger area of El Dorado County. But it really is this cell that's heading into Georgetown. So for those of you in Georgetown, you're hearing rumbles of thunder. You're probably starting to see some heavy rain. And this little area of purple shaded right there, well, now it's right over Georgetown. That's the hail. And you're probably getting pea-sized hail, maybe a little bit larger, maybe even the size of a quarter coming down out of that. And that's why we have this warning. As you can see, there's a large area that is encompassed in this. So many of you, like I said, maybe the Placerville area, got a warning. It doesn't appear right now as though this cell is going to affect you in the Placerville area. But if you go up Highway 193, certainly you are in that cell right there. Let me expand the view a little bit for you to show you the other rain that we are seeing in the area. That's the big cell right there. We also have heavy rain just north of Grass Valley and up toward the Feather Falls area. Not seeing anything in the way of thunder and lightning there. Let's go a little bit farther to the south into the Sacramento area. We are seeing just a couple of showers here and there. There's not too much in the Sacramento area. So Sacramento will still see a few more showers the next couple of hours, but our main focus here is going to be these areas where we get these severe thunderstorm warnings for El Dorado County and parts of Placer County until 6:15 this evening. Back to you.
All right, Mark, we want to show folks this. We're just getting this video in. Watch this here. This is some time lapse coming in from Alert, California, and this is some lightning in the Forest Hill area. And look at that little rain shaft that just inundates the area. So pretty impressive little stretch of video right there. What are you thinking about?
Well, what I'm looking at as we replay this, you'll notice that in the first few frames, everything's going from left to right, if you will. Right. And then notice after we get a little bit,
it kind of shifts.
Yeah. So that's showing that the entire thunderstorm itself is rotating. So it doesn't mean that there's a funnel cloud with it or anything like that, but it's very common to get a rotating thunderstorm. But it's really interesting on the leading edge of it, you have it going one way, and then as it begins to trail away from you, it begins to move in another direction. So you clearly have a difference of motion there.
Yeah, and you can see the friction that's causing all of this. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Let's go now to our KCRA 3's Brittany Hope. She's seen all kinds of weather in Sacramento County today. Brittany?
What an interesting day it has been, Edie. Yes, so right now we'll give you a little bit of perspective of where we are. We're heading north on Sunrise. We're about to pass over Highway 50. Right now we have our GPS map to the Forest Hill area, and it says we'll get there right around 7 o'clock. We know that that's really the heart of where the severe thunderstorm warning is heading at this point, as Mark was just breaking down. At this point where we are, just in the Rancho Cordova area in Sacramento County, you can see some raindrops are hitting the windshield. We definitely have the reflection on the road from cars because of those heavier bouts of rain that were coming through this area. Now let's talk about what happened at around 5 o'clock. If you were tuning in with us on the KCRA 3 News, we were about 10 miles away in the Slough House area. That is when we took an image of what seemed to be a possible funnel cloud. A few minutes after that, we got the lightning and then the thunder and then lots of rain, hail, and that is when a really heavy system moved over us, and that's when my photographer Jimmy and I, we both took shelter in the car. It was a really crazy situation for a few minutes there. So yeah, if you're in the heart of that severe thunderstorm warning, which I'm just getting word it was extended to 6:45 for that same area. So folks in Washington, Blue Canyon, Alta, Colfax, Weimar, Forest Hill, that has now been extended to 6:45. I just got that note from one of our producers in my ear. You do want to take cover. This isn't a time for you to go outside. You want to stay indoors because the conditions can change. Of course, if you're just tuning in, we just crossed over Highway 50. We're heading north on Sunrise Boulevard, heading to the Forest Hill area.
All right.
Back to you.
Now we've got an exact spot of where she is, and so we're seeing it from the ground. Mark, you're watching this from the Doppler, so I mean, let's go back to Brittany's shot here and just comment on that.
So yeah, obviously, you know, the dark clouds out there, and you see the occasional raindrops here too, but it's generally light rain where Brittany is, but it's off to the north and east, and she said she's heading toward the Forest Hill area, and Brittany, by the time you get there, this is going to be well past you. What I would suggest is once you get to Interstate 80, just keep heading up 80. This cell is heading in that direction. So the one that is over Georgetown right now will be heading up toward Interstate 80. It's generally heading toward the intersection of 80 and 20, which is around the Blue Canyon area. But that entire area from, let's say, the Meadow Vista area up to Blue Canyon is going to be impacted by this cell. That severe thunderstorm warning is up until 6:45, as you just heard. But as you can see, frequent lightning in here, heavy downpours. Not seeing any rotation, but boy, it is not going to be a pleasant next 45 minutes or so in parts of El Dorado and Placer County. But yeah, I would recommend, if you want to be in the storm like we want Brittany to be, or to at least document what's happening, go up Interstate 80. If you don't have to be on 80 right now, yeah, avoid that area. It's not going to be a pretty drive at all.
Yeah, obviously we're going to focus on that throughout the hour mark. All right, well, earlier today in El Dorado Hills, a man had to be rescued from the middle of a fast-moving creek, and officials say that the man had been camping when the water started rising. This is at Sweetwater Creek. He called 911, climbed a tree, and waited it out. It took about 2 hours for 6 rescue swimmers to finally get to the man, and they got a life jacket on him, and they were able to get him to safety.
In Sacramento, crews had to rescue 2 people from a flooded road. This happened on Kiefer Boulevard near Jackson Road in Slough House. 2 people were in that SUV. The water was about 4 feet deep. Both people had to climb up onto the roof of their SUV and then just wait to be rescued. No one was hurt, but obviously that SUV is going to need to be towed out of that area once the creek levels drop. Officials are also watching Dry Creek in North Sacramento County.
Yeah, there's some flooding there in low-lying areas. And KCRA 3's Michelle Bandor shows us how the county is gearing up.
Dry Creek is just a few feet under flood stage of 50 feet. Water is creeping onto Rio Linda Boulevard, causing drivers to slow down. And fields on both sides of the boulevard are filling up with water.
From the recent rains we've had, we've seen some areas where you live by a creek or a stream, and the water levels have risen.
That's why Sacramento County crews are trying to stop more flooding by freeing up clogged storm drains. Like this one on 6th Street in Rio Linda, crews are trying to clear a big clog by running a 320-foot line through the drain.
We have debris coming in from falling leaves. Some people even litter the area, and those end up clogging our storm drains. We always say only rain down the drain.
But in case the water rises near your home, Robinson says you should protect your property with sandbags. The county has 4 locations set up strategically in the area.
One of the things we're telling people this year is, if you have sandbags from last year, toss them. Come out, get some new ones, so that way you're better protected.
Better protected from more rain that is looking for a place to go. In Rio Linda, Michelle Bandor, KCRA 3 News.
And by the way, those sandbag locations are open 24/7. Officials say don't forget to bring a shovel.
Right now, a lot of people are returning home from a holiday weekend in the Sierra. This is a live look at Colfax. It's been a fairly slow drive for a lot of the day. Chains are required from Donner Lake, the interchange there, to Rainbow.
Let's go to KCRA 3's Andrea Flores joining us right now. She's been on Interstate 80 giving us some live reports. And as it gets darker, what are you able to still make out there?
Yeah, exactly. We are on I-80 on the approach to Cisco Grove. And as you can see here, the snowfall pretty light, just a few flurries. But just about 5 minutes ago, as we were making our way down I-80 westbound toward Cisco Grove, we had snow-covered roads. There was no lane distinction. We were seeing those high-profile vehicles pulled over to the sides of the road. We had folks driving with their emergency lights on. As you can see here, the road is back open, wide open here, and no major travel impacts. But it's really interesting that it really just depends on where you are in the Sierra, where you are along I-80, because you reach one portion and you're seeing that snow, and then it changes to just a lighter snowfall, almost a rain, and that's what we're seeing right now. But again, you can see the roads are wet here, and right now on the approach to Cisco Grove, we can see the lanes of traffic. Was different about 10 minutes ago. We couldn't see the lanes of traffic. We were starting to see that accumulation on the roadways. We have seen crews out here as well working to remove existing snowfall. We are heading in the area toward Emigrant Gap and Blue Canyon at this point, where we know Mark has been talking about a severe thunderstorm warning. So we are heading in that direction to see what we can find when we get there. But again, for this portion of I-80 along Cisco Grove, things are looking pretty good. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Andrea, thank you. And of course, drivers don't enjoy snow much on the road, but this is what it looked like for people at the ski resorts. Just really pretty there. A viewer shared this video of snow falling at Heavenly earlier today, right there in the village. We're also seeing the impacts of the storm in the Bay Area.
Yeah, the damage along a busy road in Alameda County that attracts thousands of drivers.